What's going on, guys? It is Brandon back here again today for another season preview, and I'd like to apologize because this preview should have been up yesterday, and I had zero time to film it. I had the board all made up, but by the time I went to bed, I just had zero time to film it. So you're getting two previews today. Hopefully, I'll be doing San Jose and Seattle. Hopefully, I won't balk on the Seattle one now. But we'll do the San Jose Sharks preview first. Their GM, Mike Grier, done a really good job of bringing in young talent to this team. He's going into year 4 of his GM tenure. Their coach, Ryan Warsofsky, is in year 2 of his coaching tenure as the San Jose Sharks head coach. Starting off with the forward group, you have Eklund, who's an RFA in 2026, but not anymore because he signed an extension at $5.6 million until 2029. I probably have screwed up some along the way. I know with Carolina, there were Stankoven and Blake who have those extensions going in afterward. Nazar, his came out after I'd done the Blackhawks one. So hopefully I haven't screwed up too many of those. Celebrini is an RFA in 2027, and then you have Toffoli, $6 million in 2028. Second line, you have Alex Wenberg, $5 million until 2026. Will Smith is an RFA in 2027 as well, and Adam Gaudette just brought in $2 million until 2027. What you're going to see here is a lot of expiring deals, a lot of expiring contracts, a lot of contracts that can be traded at the deadline if need be. Such as Jeff Skinner, who after 1 year of being in the playoffs decided it's not enough for me. Or I should say it's enough for me, and he signs in San Jose, $3 million until 2026. Barclay Goodrow, $3.641 million until 2027. And Philip Kurashev signs here as well, $1.2 million until 2026, where he is also an RFA. On the fourth line, you have Grundstrom, $1.8 million until 2026. Dellandrea, $1.3 million until 2026, and Ryan Reeves, $1.35 million until 2026. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 expiring contracts on the forward group, and that doesn't even include the depth. You have Graf, who's an RFA in 2026, so I think could fill in for Reeves a lot more since Reeves isn't going to be in the lineup every night. You have Ostapchuk, who's an RFA in 2026. Olesen, who they acquired from Colorado, is an RFA in 2026. Lund's an RFA in 2027. Shane Bowers probably is never going to hit his potential when he's first drafted, but he's an RFA in 2026. You also have Colin White here as depth. Bysted's an RFA in 2027. Quinton Musty's an RFA in 2028. And Chernyshov, RFA in 2028. And who could forget, he hasn't been signed yet, but second overall pick this year, Michael Misa. So there's a lot of great young forwards coming up in this San Jose Sharks organization. It's something I'd give them the edge over the Blackhawks in the rebuild. The defensive-wise, there's still some work to be done compared to Chicago's, I'd say. Looking at the D-core, the most likely to be moved out, I think, is Mario Ferraro, $3.25 million until 2026. He's been here in San Jose for a while. Maybe he finds himself out of town as the deadline draws near. You have Liljegren, however you pronounce it these days, because I've heard both now. It used to always be Liljegren, and now it's Liljegren, or I don't know. $3 million until 2026. You have Orlov, $6.5 million until 2027. Klingberg, $4 million until 2026. Muka Hamadulin, I love that name, $1 million until 2026, where he will be an RFA. And Nick Leddy is claimed off waivers, $4 million until 2026. So one defenseman of their top 6 is signed for until more than this year, and he's only signed for 1 more year. I could see all 5 of these guys being out if they had the possibility of moving all of them out. You also have Desjardins, or Desharnais, I should say. $2 million until 2026, so put him in instead of Mohamedulin. You have your entire starting 6 basically expiring. On the younger side, you have Thompson, who's an RFA in 2026. Lucas Carlson, former Blackhawk, is here for depth. Cagnoni and Dickinson are both RFAs upcoming. Cagnoni in 2027, and Dickinson's the big one in 2028. Looking at their goaltending, you have Askarov, $2 million until 2027, where he's an RFA. Nedeljkovic is brought in, $2.5 million until 2026. You also draft Ravensburger, who is one of the top goaltending prospects in the draft. So overall, I gotta say, I really like what San Jose is doing here. I think they've done a great job at drafting, great job at acquiring young players. And it's something they're going to be a dangerous team to watch. Not going to be built like the teams in the 2000s and 2010s that were bigger, skill, however. This teams are going to be a lot, I think, smaller, but a lot more speed and a lot more skill. Not relying on as much veteran presence, but on just pure talent, which is something that I don't think a lot of teams do, and I feel like they should. So their complete list of additions: Gaudet, Skinner, Kurashev, Reeves, Orlov, Klingberg, Leddy, and Nedeljkovic. Subtractions: Kovalenko, Thrun, who's traded to Pittsburgh for traded to Toronto for Reeves. Ruda, who I don't think is signed. Kostin, Bordeleau goes to New Jersey. Georgiev and Olesen. So some names there on the out, and a lot of names on the in. Looking at where they finish in the division, I'm expecting them to finish 8th again this season. They still just have a lot of young players. They're going to be sellers at the deadline. They want to insert more of these young players as time goes on into the lineup. So they're going to have the opportunity to do that, and they're also going to have a ton of cap space. Of course, Mark-Edward Vlasic, I forgot to put on the board. I should have put him on the board. Was bought out. So let me put him down. After about 20 years in San Jose. You also have other retentions and buyouts that are going to get less and less every single year. So San Jose's cap situation is going to be fantastic in a couple seasons. That's when you'll have to pay Celebrini, you'll have to pay Smith, you'll have to pay Dickinson, and along with other guys in this lineup as well, Askarov being another. Looking at the division, as I said, you have Vegas, LA, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Anaheim, Seattle. I really can't see San Jose passing many of those teams. Maybe Seattle at best case scenario. But they've been out of the playoffs now for 6 seasons, but they didn't commit to the rebuild until after that 3rd season. That's when Mike Grier really takes over. 2020, 29, 36, and 5 after going to the conference final in the short. So they go to the conference final, shortened season happens. They have finished with 63 points, 29th in the league, and it's not good enough. I believe Ottawa had their pick that year, if I remember from the Erik Karlsson trade. 2021, they go 21, 28, and 7, 49 points for 26th in the league, so a little bit better. And then 2022, 32, 37, and 13, 77 points, 22nd in the league. And that's when Doug Wilson steps away due to health reasons. Mike Grier comes in as GM, and he says, okay, this is clearly not working. We need to go into some sort of rebuild here. And that's when the teardown begins. 2023, 22, 44, and 16 for 60 points, 29th in the league. 2024 with one of the worst seasons we've seen in the salary cap era. 19, 54, and 9, 47 points for 32nd in the league. And here last season in 2025, 20, 50, and 12, 52 points for 32nd in the league once again. I can't even say only, they are last in the league for the last 2 years. It's possible they finish last in the league again. I know they wouldn't mind another top draft pick. They would love to add Gavin McKenna to this already loaded forward group. That's why I think Chicago needs it more. I think Chicago's got the defense a little more established. Meanwhile, San Jose's got their forwards and goaltending really well set. Chicago's goaltending's pretty. I give their goaltending prospects are all right. I give San Jose the edge though because you have Askarov and that's the number 1 name right now. Defense I give to Chicago because a lot of them are already in the lineup. Forward group they're still coming up, but there's still some names here. But they also have a lot of forwards already in their lineup. Eklund, Celebrini, Smith. Delandria and Kurashev, they're not their top 6. Those aren't going to be top 6 forwards, but they're young enough forwards that they're still going to play a prominent role in different roles. And Delandria is more of a shutdown guy, and Kurashev, he can move up and down the lineup if need be. So that versatility, San Jose, I think, has done a really good job at doing that. And the closest comparison is Chicago. That's why I'm comparing it with Chicago so much. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Again, apologies that this is coming out late, but I shall see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.